Drills Talk, episode 9. In this episode, we're going to discuss the top 4 ways to prevent failing repeatedly. This is based off of a blog I wrote entitled The Ease of Failure. You can check that out. The link is in the description. We're going to get right into it. Number 1, learn from failure. So you hear that a lot. Everybody says learn from failure, don't make the same mistakes twice, blah, 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 blah. But we're going to get a little more in depth to it. Now, when you first experience failure, it's kind of like an ego blow. You're not really in learn mode. So, if you hear that immediately after a failure, it probably doesn't really resonate with you. You're just trying to kind of cope with the loss or the L and, build yourself back up to try again, hopefully. But what we need to do is in that time of, I would say, minor mourning, we need to remember that we got a lesson somewhere in there. Even when we're, down on ourselves and we're probably sitting somewhere, laying on the bed, quiet, or, moping around. While we're doing that, we need to go over each step of what we did and how we tried to attempt to complete something and say, okay, well, maybe that was the misstep there, or I know for sure that could have been done better. And, what happened that was unexpected. And now if it happens again, it shouldn't be unexpected because you've experienced it, right? So if you do all of these things, you're kind of learning regardless of failure or success. And that sets you up for not failing repeatedly, because you're learning from any situation, every situation, even the bad ones are giving you something. The good ones can give you something too. But we tend to, ignore all the good stuff. We succeed. It's like perfect. Everything worked. I'm not about to go and look at what I could have done better, which you should anyway. But, back to failure. When we do try something and fail, whether it's a test or, attempting to get a promotion or start a business or whatever it is, it's usually because we're not ready to succeed. We haven't done enough to be ready to succeed. We didn't study enough for that test. We didn't study the business that we jumped into enough. We weren't really ready to run a company and have employees, and it was a bit much at the time, but our ambition, which is good, actually made us jump in and try, because most of us don't even do that. So don't beat yourself up too bad, but understand that, okay, in that scenario, maybe, I wasn't quite ready yet, and that's okay, but you did it. And because you did it, you get a gift, and that gift is whatever you can learn out of that failure. That gift is that exposure to whatever you were trying to do that you didn't have before, which is going to set you up to either come very close to passing or getting what you're trying to do, or just blowing it out the water and killing it because you've learned from your failure. Number two is recognize the ease of failure. So this is going back to the blog I wrote, The Ease of Failure. What is that? So understand how easy it is to do nothing. Understand that nothing or doing nothing leads to failure. So the ease of failure is, I want to lose 10 pounds or I want to work out more. It's very easy to say that. It's not so much or not as easy to work out or, work out every day for a while until you get in the shape to where you can drop it down to 3 days. A lot of people, they work out and they say, okay, well, I'm going to work out 2 days and then I'm going to build up to 3 days and then go to 5 days. And, that in your head, you think that that's the way you should do it. But no, you shouldn't. Your body is not in the mode. It's not in build up mode right now. It's in, I need to get used to moving mode. You're in a stationary state all the time. So even if you're doing light workouts every day for a while, get your body going, start using muscles you haven't used before or haven't used in a long time. Yes, you will be sore. Yes, you will be aching. No, you won't want to do it. But overall, what you want to do is get in better shape. Overall, what you want to do is lose those 10 pounds. And just by simply moving every day more, you'll get there very quickly. But the ease of telling yourself, well, I only got to do it once a week now, And then, when I'm in better shape, I can do it, twice a week. But working out once a week, like, how long would it take you to get into the shape that you need to be in to work out twice a week? No telling, right? No telling. But the ease of, working out once a week is attractive. But so is the ease of Wednesday being your workout day. And, Wednesday is busy this week and you didn't work out. And Thursday, you didn't work out. Friday, Saturday, Sunday's the weekend. Mondays, you're so close to Wednesday, you might as well just wait. And then the next Wednesday come and you don't work out there either. So now it's been 2 weeks and you have a total of 1 workout in 3 weeks. That's the ease of failure. That's what it is. You're in school, you need to study. This class is the hardest class you have. Not necessarily on paper the hardest class, but for you, this turned out to be a difficult one. You actually have to read notes and reread notes and do homework and study to pass barely. And instead of saying, you know what, I'm not going to be able to party at least 2 weeks before this final, like I have to stop, I have to cut it off. The ease of failure is telling you, well, how much more could you know? You either know or you don't, right? That's what people tell themselves. You either know or you don't. I'm not going to study. I either know it or I don't know it. And you think about that and how easy that is to believe. It's like, okay, well, I've taken this class for, 3 or 4 months, the whole semester, right? And I don't think I'm going to learn anything in these 2 weeks of attempting to cram in some stuff I don't know. But that's the ease of failure. That's letting yourself know that, well, we might luck out and get 2 answers above what we need. But you got to remember, you can also get 2 answers below what you need. And that 2 weeks could have been the difference. Actually would have been the difference. It's very hard to say that if you're, hovering around that C and you need a C or better, that you studying for 2 weeks just focused on the stuff that you don't know, focused on the stuff that you are always troubled with or challenged with, that you wouldn't have, pushed that up to at least a C plus or a B minus if you really dedicated yourself and didn't go to those parties for those 2 weeks leading up to finals. So, ease of failure. Number 3. Personify that ease that leads to failure. So, the ease of failure is basically somebody you were in a relationship with or somebody you really trusted, which you did and you were. And it just turned out that nothing good came out of that. Nothing worked out. It all sounded great. You bought into it all, but it didn't work out. So now that's an X, right? We're not doing that anymore. But I think personification, it helps us being people, deal with things better. So if we look at the ease of failure as an X, it kind of helps us say, I don't really want anything to do with that anymore. I remember that relationship. It didn't do anything for me. It kind of got me in a sense of, making excuses and believing it. And it's easy to believe because it's myself telling me these things. I can really convince myself I know exactly what to say to get myself to the point where, sounds good, sounds believable, I'll do it. No, don't need to study. Nah, don't need to work out this week. I don't really need to save. I'm young. I'll save later. I don't need to invest now. Got plenty of years to invest. Do you? We don't really know, right? But we've sold ourselves on it, and that's the ease of failure. That's that nasty X talking to us and just calling us back when, we never really called them. How are we getting called back? You ever heard that before? I'm just calling you back. Yeah. This needs to be a person in your head. Doesn't need to be something that is permanent, but a temporary personification of this bad, trait that you have right now, which is the ease of failure and buying into it. Buying into the ease of failure actually enables you to continuously fail. And you selling yourself on it, it just makes it go from a 50% chance of failure to 75, 80, 90% chance of failure, because you're the only person who can change it, and you're already bought into not changing it. It's a slippery slope. So if we look at it like, hey, this is an ex of mine, I don't really need to do it anymore. I know that relationship. I know what that entails. I know what good and bad comes out of it. The good is immediate. The good is like, hey, well, I don't have to do that. Let me sit back. Let me relax. The bad is the next day. The bad is the next week. The bad is, the consequence of that, couple of hours or day of doing nothing. And why? We've convinced ourselves that that day or that couple of hours of doing nothing is beneficial to us, but it's only beneficial to us in that moment. So that's not what we're living for, right? This moment is going to be gone. We're living in the moment now. But what about later? I want to be good later. I want to be okay later. I want to be prepared later. I don't want to just be fine doing nothing now, knowing that this is hurting me and it's not going to enable me to be doing better later. It's pretty cool to know that, I can work now. Don't really want to work. I don't really want to, bust my tail. But if I do, I know how much easier next year is going to be. I know how much easier, 5 years from now is going to be. I know how, financially stable I will be in 10 years because I'm busting my tail today. Rather than, well, I have 10 years. I don't really have to do it today. Number four is prepare for success. So we touched on this in number one, where, we're jumping into things and maybe we're not really ready. Understandable. Some of us do jump way early. Some of us, jump just in time. Some of us jump way too late. But the ones that, do actually have the gumption or the, kahunas to jump, you need to be prepared for success. And how do you prepare yourself for success? Well, you do all the 1 through 3. You know what I mean? You learn from failure. You recognize the ease of failure. You personify ease so you can actually, detach yourself from it. That's how you do it. Learning from failure prepares you to not fail. Recognizing when you're not doing things that's in your best interest for the future is preparing yourself not to fail. You knowing that, okay, I started this business and, I really didn't give it my all. I gave it kind of like, 3-4 hours a week when it needed 30, 40, 50, 60 hours a week. But now I know. Now I get it because I prepared myself through failure. I've experienced that. I've seen myself kind of, be my biggest enemy in not doing exactly what I needed to do to prepare myself. That discipline wasn't there, but that discipline is there now because I know that that's a requirement. That's a prerequisite. I need that. Preparing yourself is equipping yourself for a fight, and you have no clue what's going to come at you. So you need to be prepared as much as you can. Do you need a shield? Sure. Should you wear a helmet? Absolutely. Should you be as smart as you can be and knowledgeable about what can actually come your way? Sure. And then there'll still be surprises, but you're ready for surprises because you've already experienced surprises in your past failures, your past, attempts at succeeding. So when those come back, you're ready for them. And when another surprise comes, you're like, okay, I didn't know exactly what you were going to be, but I knew that you were coming and I'm ready for you. You see, like that's preparing yourself. So you're watching this video and like, okay, well, yeah, how can I not fail repeatedly? Well, you definitely have to prepare yourself to succeed. You have to believe in yourself that, you know what? Yes, I messed up before, or no, it didn't work out. I don't even think I messed up. I don't think I did anything wrong and it still didn't work out. But how can I prepare myself even better this go around? I don't think I did anything wrong. Okay, cool. Let's say you didn't do anything wrong, which is, it's probably not likely, but let's say you didn't. Let's say you put your best foot forward and it didn't work out. All right, now what more can you do then? How much more of the right stuff can you do to prove that not only do you want it, but you deserve it. That you will nurture it, that you will see that it gets to where you want it to get to. So yes, you did everything right. Okay, cool. What more could you have done? And there's always more that can be done. So don't actually give yourself the ease of failure by telling yourself that there's nothing more that you could have done. Because then you're telling yourself, well, oh, well, you did it perfect and, it didn't work out. So if you do it again, it's still not going to work out because you've already done your best. That's not accurate. You don't want to tell yourself that. That is the ease of failure. You're telling yourself, don't even bother, don't even try, because we've already tried. We put our best foot forward and it didn't work out. That's crazy talk. That's negative talk. It's not going to help you. It's definitely not preparing you for success. And, you're definitely not learning from failure because you're telling yourself that you've done the best you can and that was it. No, you're letting that ease creep in again. And you don't want that. We're trying to get rid of that. We're going to get rid of that because we're going to prepare ourselves for success. We're going to believe and walk in this, belief that we got this because we got this. Drills Talk, episode 9. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. It's drills.com. Check this out. It's Drills.